Hello, my name is Beth Dixon, and this is a video series based on Vicki Borlaug's PowerPoint presentation on binomial distribution. And we are in the middle of an example on this video, and our example is assume that 15% of all people are left-handed. There are 14 students in a class. Find the probability that exactly 3 students are left-handed, at most 3 students are left-handed, and at least 3 students are left-handed. In part 4A of this example, we did exactly 3 students, and we're now ready to do part B. At most 3 are left-handed. Our values are, we did go through the characteristics on the previous video, so we do know it's a binomial. The success is being left-handed. N is 14, P is 0.15, Q is 0.85, and our X's are 0 through 14. At most 3 are left-handed is 3 or less, and I have circled the numbers that are 3 or less. So in this case, we just need to find the probabilities for each of those 4 numbers. For 0, that would be 14 choose 0 times 0.015 to the 0 times 0.85 to the 14. Notice if we're doing it for 0, for x equals 0, that the 0 appears here after as the number that we're choosing, and here as the power of our probability, as the power to our probability of success. Then 14 minus 0, we have 0 successes. That then means we have 14 failures. Place that in your calculator. Well, she's going to give you the 4 formulas first, and then we'll get the numbers. For our second formula, we will have 14, and then because we have x equals 1, we have choose 1, and then 0.15 raised to the first power because we want 1 success, and that leaves us 13 failures, so that would be 0.85 raised to the 13th power, because 1 plus 13 accounts for all 14 of the students. The third formula here is where x equals 2, and that would be 14 choose 2, since we have 2 successes, and that would be 0.15 to the second power, again because we have 2 successes. And because we have 2 successes, there would be 12 failures, because 14 minus 2 leaves 12 to be our failures. And lastly, with our number of successes being 3, that would be the total of 14, choose 3 for our combinations, and the 3 being the number of successes. Then our probability of success, 0.15, raised to the number of successes, which is 3, times 0.85, and the 11 is the number of our failures. 3 minus 14 leaves 11 failures. Then place each of those in the calculator. You may want to pause and try that for yourself, but by the magic of Miss Borlaug, I'm going to click, and there are those 4 numbers. For x equals 0, we get 0.1028. For x equals 1, we get 0.2539. For x equals 2, we get 0.2912. And for x equals 3, we get 0.2056. Add those together, because we're being a success of at most 3 is being x equals 0 or x equals 1 or x equals 2 or x equals 3. And the or, remember, tells us to add. And we get 0.8535. And the answer is there is a 0.8535 probability of getting at most 3 left-handed students. And be sure that you circle or box your answer for your teachers. It does make your final answer so much easier to find when there's so many numbers floating around. Next, let's look at least 3 left-handed students. And notice at least 3 left-handed students will be the numbers 3 and greater. And I'm not going to read those, but those are the numbers 3 through 14. Since there are so many of those numbers, instead of trying to find all of those numbers and adding them together, let's find the numbers for 0, 1, and 2, the only things we didn't circle. Now remember, we just found those, and I'm not going to go back through those. Those are from the previous screen. It's the same formulas that we had. So we could actually just use our previous work and get those numbers that we just had. For x equals 0, the answer is still 0.1028. For x equals 1, the answer is still 0.2539. For x equals 2, the answer is still 0.2912. And if we sum those together, we get 0.6479. Well, what does that tell us? It tells us everything we've not circled has a probability of 0.649, and that's the complement. Well, remember our complement then is 1 minus 0.6479, which gives us that our answer is 0.3521. So there is a 0.3521 probability of getting at least 3 left-handed students. Here is a class question for you to try. And this concludes part 4 of our video series. Thank you for watching.